Tonight, one man airlifted to Toronto, two others in a Windsor hospital after a car rolls and burns in the county. Swimming ban imposed near manure spill site. And some down-home culture, a review of The Waterford Girl.
From CBC, the Windsor Late News with Blake Roberts.
Good evening. 3 men have been sent to hospital after a fiery single-car crash in the county. It happened about 5:30 at the intersection of the Graham Side Road and the second concession. That's between Kingsville and Ruthven. Police say the car was traveling at a high rate of speed when the driver lost control. The car hit one side of the culvert running under the concession road, went airborne and ended up on its roof on the other side. The fire was so intense the tires were burned off the rims. Officers couldn't even identify the manufacturer of the car at first.
At this point, the information I have on their condition is that all 3 parties have serious burns. And 2 parties were taken to the Metropolitan Hospital, the Windsor Regional Hospital, and 1 party was initially taken to Leamington Hospital but has since been airlifted to Toronto.
Police officers from Kingsville were on the scene within minutes of the crash and helped remove the victims from the car. They were all conscious but severely burned. The identities of the victims has not been released. And 7 people, 4 of them children, were injured in another collision near that accident today. This one happened on Highway 18 near the Kratz Side Road. As police tell it, a Leamington woman was stopped to make a turn when she was hit from behind. Both drivers and all of their occupants went to hospital. Their injuries aren't life-threatening, police say. The investigation continues. And one of the eastbound lanes of the 401 just west of Manning Road was shut down earlier tonight due to a mysterious oil slick. It stretched for about 100 meters along the highway. Tecumseh OPP laid down flares and pylons to steer the traffic into the eastbound passing lane. Police say they don't know what the spill was or where it came from. The lane was sanded and reopened after police determined it was safe to drive on. A small fire broke out in the roof of the Brentwood Alcoholic Recovery Home in Windsor late this afternoon. Firefighters were called to the scene on Dougal Avenue just before 4 o'clock. Roofers were doing repairs on the part of the building where the foundation offices are located. The fire was brought under control about 4:30, but not before the building was evacuated.
You know, this is about 40 years old, so to speak, and the last time it was done about maybe 15, 20 years ago. So it's just being done, a normal roof repair job, and I guess something must have happened in part of that repair, and when they were using the torches up there, must have caught something on fire.
There's no estimate of damage. An update now on that pig manure spill in Chatham, Kent. As a precaution, swimming will not be allowed at Rondo Park or surrounding beaches along the Lake Erie shoreline because of it. And residents are now wondering if the spill occurred before they noticed it Wednesday. More tonight from Pat Jefflin.
Please stay out of that water.
Pig manure is still contaminating this stream that flows into Lake Erie, but waves have washed much of it into the lake. Just how much is unknown. But on Friday, June 30th, visitors to the beach also saw filthy water in the creek.
Before Friday it was nice blue, and then on Friday it just turned brown.
Residents here wanted the Ministry of the Environment to contain and vacuum up the water, but that hasn't happened.
That would be preferable to having this go into the lake, take the currents down to Rondo Park, where there's a lot of people right now.
The Environment Ministry says it didn't have the equipment to suck up the pig manure. Residents don't buy that.
With enough ingenuity, they can do virtually anything they want in that regard.
There's the pipe there.
Today, Environment Officer Lee Bradshaw was back on site examining the possible sources of the pig manure. Wednesday night, pig manure was gushing out of this drain at an estimated 1,500 gallons an hour. It's virtually certain it came from this farm run by Mike DeBrouwer and his brother.
It looks like it's gone down, what do you say, 2 to 3 inches.
This lagoon is filled with pig manure, and Lee Bradshaw believes it's the source of the spill.
Writing up an order today requiring him to alleviate the problem and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Mike DeBrouwer says he can only speculate about how the manure got into the municipal drain and the lake.
I've been monitoring the manure levels in the storage, and I've been monitoring the tile outlets, and in view of the increased scrutiny that livestock farmers are under, and in view of the Walkerton tragedy, I have increased the monitoring here, and I've never seen anything wrong until this point.
De Brouwer admits he was charged $10,000 for another spill of manure. De Brouwer says he intends to comply with ministry orders to rectify the problem.
I think the industry as a whole is having trouble keeping up to what the public's expectations, and I think we need to install better systems.
Meanwhile, people are being warned to stay out of the water for 12 kilometers on either side of the place where the water entered Lake Erie. Pat Jefflin, CBC News, near Palmyra.
A court appearance today for the man accused of being the Colchester rapist. A date was set for a preliminary hearing in the case. It will be on September 6th. Dale Melvin Greer will remain in custody until then. Greer is charged with 4 counts of sexual assault, 1 count of indecent assault and theft. The case involves the sexual assault of several elderly women dating back to the early 80s. 4 of the 5 victims have died, and the defense expects to question the validity of DNA evidence and the reliability of victim statements.
So that's put in the defense submission the Crown's case in jeopardy because the statements were not reliably taken, in our view, from the women that were allegedly raped by Mr. Greer.
If the case advances past the preliminary hearing stage, Harvey estimates the trial could last from 2 to 4 months. An update now on our lead story from last night. Windsor police have laid charges in a police pursuit that ended in South Windsor. It started about 6:30 last night. The chase started in the downtown and ended with a collision on Radisson. No one was injured. The 4 suspects, ranging in age from 14 to 23, face several charges. They include possession of stolen property over $5,000 and resisting arrest. A vivid reminder today for some young students about the dangers lurking around the farm. Rob Miller was in Woodsley for Safety Day.
It took only a few seconds for this piece of farm machinery to mangle a dummy filled with hay. And in those few seconds, organizers of Kids Farm Safety Day hope to make a lasting impression on 150 children aged 4 to 12. The purpose of Farm Safety Day is to show the kids that a farm may not be as safe a place as it might first appear.
We're trying to convey that you need to maybe think before you do something. Take a minute to pause, because maybe that pause might keep you from injury.
The kids learned about everything from the dangers of lawnmowers to grain bins and the importance of police, fire, and first aid. A big supporter of Farm Safety Day is dairy farmer Charlie Deemer. He suffered a farm tragedy himself in 1983. He lost a hand when his glove was caught in a forage harvester.
And even adults today could get something from this, because we all become complacent. We get tied up in our work. We leave stress kind of rule.
And the demonstrations seem to make an impression on the students.
I will never go in a grain bin when it's empty or full, because someone could just pull up to that wagon and just fill it with corn and I could be gone.
That you always let a dog sniff your hand first before you pet him.
So what will you remember most from today?
Everything, because I might need it someday.
And the organizers plan to run the program again next year. Rob Miller, CBC News, Woodsley.
The Riverfront Festival Plaza is occupied this weekend by the Festival Epicure. Nearly 30 different purveyors of food and drink are supplying the sustenance. Everything from pizza to yogurt and wine to beer is available. And the stage will be a busy place with lots of music and even comedy routines on it. The Festival Epicure runs until Sunday night. Proceeds go to the Kidney Foundation. And the 13th annual Essex Fun Fest is in full swing. It kicked off yesterday and runs through the weekend. Organizers say there are all kinds of activities in store, including a parade tomorrow, rides, games, food, and a talent contest on Sunday. Tomorrow afternoon there will be a special presentation to preview a new mural at Essex Arena. It honors Essex sports heroes Former Hockey Night in Canada producer Ralph Mellenby will be on hand for the presentation at 3.
Some great names. Mr. Walls, one of the great boxers of our time, went to high school here. Mr. Danes, Colin Danes, went to the Olympics in wrestling. Of course, our own Keith Crowder from Boston Bruin fame.
The mural is still being painted with help from the general public. The artist is letting everyone take a turn painting a little part of the mural. It will be unveiled in the fall. Now, wasn't that some kind of an outstanding day? Lots of sunshine today and moderate temperatures and no humidity. Too bad we couldn't bottle it and keep it for the weekend. The wet forecast is coming up. Let's go to our currents first. In Windsor tonight, it's 17 degrees Celsius or 63 Fahrenheit. We've got light wind tonight from the east-northeast, and the barometric pressure is rising. A few clouds tonight and cool at a low of just 14 or 57. Increasingly cloudy in the morning and then scattered showers arriving in the afternoon. A high of 25 or 77 tomorrow and cover up because the UV rating is expected to be high despite the clouds. Looking ahead to Sunday, and that's when we've got the greatest chance of rain on the weekend. Cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Hot at 30 degrees. Mainly cloudy Monday and getting up to 30 again. Cooling off marginally Tuesday at 29 under cloudy skies with about a 60% chance of rain. Now, Scott Scantlebury, this kid has already racked up quite a reputation, and he's only, what, 20 years old?
Yeah, he's 20, and we're jealous.
That's for sure.
Hail the conquering hero. Tecumseh's Calvin Coupayan won the Ontario Men's Amateur Golf Championship. Coupayan is the first local player in 41 years to win the title. He did it today at one of Canada's toughest courses. That and more coming up in sports.